In this video, we take a look into 5 televised trials of killers who seem to laugh off life and death sentences. Some were teenagers who will not be released until they are elderly, while others were grown men who were given the death penalty. All of them showed no remorse for their crimes and laughed at their charges. Number 5. Dane Toney. In 2016, Dane Toney was involved in the first homicide of the year in Ann Arbor, Michigan, United States. In October of 2016, teenagers Dane Toney, Jamaris Elson, and Delrano Gracie attempted to rob Pioneer High School student 18-year-old Jordan Clee at gunpoint. During the robbery, Jordan was shot and killed. In 2017, during his trial, Dane Toney admitted to being the triggerman, claiming that he shot Jordan in the head.
What did you do with that gun and Mr. Jordan Clee?
Shot him.
And where did you shoot him?
On the top of his head.
And did you kill him with that shot?
Yes.
Dane was sentenced to 52 years in prison. His release date is 2069 when he will be 69 years old. He remained smiling as a judge told him he will die in prison.
Watching you sit there, smile and laugh and shake your head like this was no big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there.
In 2018, the accomplices 19-year-old Jamarius Ellison and 18-year-old Delrano Gracie were each sentenced to 40 years in prison. They were charged with armed robbery, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, and second-degree murder. They will be close to 60 years old at the time of their release. They are each doing a combined total of 132 concurrent years behind bars. 18-year-old Delrano Gracie was the only one to express sympathy towards Jordan's parents, being the only one to apologize.
To the victim and his family, I'd like to apologize too.
Each of the convicts will be eligible for parole in 25 years. Number 4. Latif Smith. On the 10th of April 2018, 17-year-old Latif Smith was seen laughing in court while receiving a 65-year sentence. Latif Smith will be in prison until he is 82 years old after refusing to take a plea deal. Latif Smith was involved in a murder which took place in Alabama, United States in 2015 when he was 15 years old. Latif Smith and his friend Adonte Washington began burglarizing homes in 2015 when they were 15 and 16 years old. They were armed and in a group of 5 people. In 2015, the Millbrook Police Department in Alabama responded to a burglary call. When they arrived on the scene, Adonte Washington charged at them with a handgun. The police shot the 16-year-old 4 times, killing him. There is controversy around the case as Latif Smith, along with 3 others, were charged with felony murder for the death of Adonte Washington, although it was the police who killed him. Latif was charged as a murderer, being responsible for the death without committing the act. Latif Smith was sentenced to 30 years for murder, 15 years for burglary, and 10 years each for 2 counts of theft convictions. After his sentencing, many people went to the web to protest, claiming he was innocent of murder. The other 4 people involved were also charged with the same counts. They each got a combined total of 260 concurrent years behind bars. The officer who killed Adonte Washington was not named in the court case and was not charged criminally. Number 3. Luis Bracamontes. On October the 24th, 2014, Mexican native Luis Bracamontes killed 2 Northern California sheriff deputies and wounded a 3rd. He also wounded a civilian during the attack. Luis Bracamontes was in the United States illegally. He was a Mexican drug trafficker. He had been deported from the United States numerous times since the 1990s after being arrested on drug charges. On October 24, 2014, Luis Bracamontes went on a day-long crime spree in California. He shot a civilian 5 times and killed 2 police officers while wounding a 3rd. He was eventually subdued by the police and arrested. In March of 2018, he was sentenced to death. Bracamontes' wife Janelle Monroy was convicted of assisting him during the rampage and was sentenced to nearly 25 years in prison. During his trial, he smiled while being sentenced, and he also had an outburst saying he wished he would have killed more police.
I will break out soon and I will kill more.
He also smiled while the cops' families described identifying their bodies. In 2018, during the midterm elections, his case caused controversy. The Trump administration ran an ad blaming Democrats for the murders, blaming Democrats of letting Bracamontes and other dangerous undocumented immigrants into the United States. Fox News, CNN, and NBC stopped airing the ad and Facebook banned it from its platform. Trump was seen as a hypocrite as he pardoned the person who was responsible for releasing Luis after being arrested in 1998. In 1998, Luis Bracamontes was arrested on drug charges in Phoenix, Arizona. He was released for reasons unknown by former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio. On an unrelated matter, President Donald Trump pardoned Joe Arpaio after a contempt of court conviction on the 25th of August 2017. So Luis Montes could have been stopped sooner if it wasn't for Joe Arpaio. Luis showed no remorse at his sentencing. Number 2. Michael Madison. Michael Madison is an American serial killer from East Cleveland, Ohio. He committed at least 3 murders. On the 19th of July 2013, the Ohio Police Department got reports of a foul odor coming from a garage leased to Michael Madison. The police searched the garage and found a decomposing body inside. The following day, 2 more bodies were found, one in a backyard and the other in a basement of a vacant house. All of the bodies had been wrapped in plastic bags. After the police got a search warrant, they entered Michael's apartment and found further evidence of decomposition. Michael resisted arrest and had a standoff with the police at his mother's house. He was then taken to the station. It was found that Michael had murdered 3 women, these being Angela Deskins, aged 38, Shatisha Sheely, aged 28, and Sherrod Terry, aged 18. His victims were each 10 years apart in age. Michael had raped his victims and abused their corpses. He had a criminal history of rape and was a registered sex offender. He served 4 years for an attempted rape in 2001. In October 2001, Michael Madison dragged an 18-year-old woman down an East Cleveland street. He threw her behind a house and prepared to rape her. A police car pulled up and Michael fled but was later arrested. He pled guilty to attempted rape and was ordered to undergo treatment for sex offenders. 11 years later, in 2012, he committed his first murder. On July 22, 2013, Madison was charged with 3 charges of aggravated murder. His bail was set at $6 million. During his murder trial, he was indicted on 14 counts. These included 2 counts each of aggravated murder for each victim, 3 counts of kidnapping, 3 counts of gross abuse of a corpse, 1 count of rape, and 1 count of weapons possession by an ex-convict. On June 2, 2016, Michael Madison was sentenced to death. During his trial, he continued to smile at the victim's parents, and during his sentencing, Van Terry, the parent to the 18-year-old victim, lunged at Michael due to the disrespect. Michael continued to laugh during the incident. Number 1. Thomas Lane. On the 27th of February 2012, Thomas Lane carried out the Chardon High School shooting. He shot 6 students, killing 3. He left one of the wounded with permanent paralysis. At 7:30 a.m., Thomas stood up in the cafeteria of the Chardon High School in Ohio. He then started shooting, causing chaos. While in the cafeteria, he shot 4 male students at one table, then 1 female student as he fled from the scene. 5 of the students were hospitalized, with 3 dying of their injuries within 2 days. Thomas Lane was a former student of Chardon and used the same bus as some of his victims. Thomas was chased out the school by a teacher and a football coach. He was quickly arrested by the police outside the school near his parked car on Wooden Road. On the 26th of February 2013, Thomas Lane pleaded guilty to 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of aggravated attempted murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. He was sentenced to 3 life sentences without parole. After entering the courtroom for the sentencing hearing, Lane removed his dress shirt to reveal a white t-shirt which had the word killer handwritten across it. He smiled and smirked during the hearing. After being sentenced, Lane said to the victim's family in the courtroom, "This hand that pulled the trigger that killed your son now masturbates to the memory. F all of you." He then showed his middle finger.
Saying pull the trigger that killed your son now masturbates to memory.
Although motives remain unclear, one indicates that he had a vendetta with one of the boys he killed sitting at the table in the cafeteria, and he decided to go on a rampage after killing him. On September the 11th, 2014, Thomas Lane along with 2 older inmates escaped from Allen Correctional Institution in Lima, Ohio. He was captured the following day and the inmates were transferred to a maximum security prison. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and also press the bell button so you can get all the future notifications for when this channel uploads. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.